We begin with developing news on war in Israel. Tonight, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. is actively working to rapidly intensify war between Israel and Palestinian militants. Tonight, there are reports there could be some U.S. hostages. More than 600 Israelis have been killed and 2,000 injured since Hamas militants began a surprise assault on nearly 24 Israeli towns. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest.
The fighting is intensifying. Israel formally declaring war against Hamas after a surprise attack by the Palestinian militant group early Saturday morning.
This weekend, Hamas started a war against Israel with the worst massacre of innocent civilians in Israel's history. Hamas was more barbaric and more brutal than ISIS. Let me be crystal clear. Israel will respond with determination and force to their unprovoked war crimes.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meeting with military and defense leaders Sunday. As Israeli forces continue to battle groups of Hamas fighters holed up in towns across the country while unleashing relentless air attacks on the Gaza Strip. A continuation, Palestinians say, of years of deadly violence and suppression by Israeli troops and leadership that many say led to the weekend attack. Hundreds on both sides are dead, thousands more injured. The U.S. State Department right now working to confirm initial reports that Americans have died in the fighting and that others are among hundreds who've been kidnapped and taken to Gaza. The Pentagon now confirming U.S. ships and aircraft are moving closer to the region.
The focus now has to be on making sure that Israel has what it needs to deal with this attack and to make sure that its citizens are safe and secure.
Jewish communities across the U.S. praying for that security and safety on edge as Palestinian supporters march in Chicago. Fallout from the fighting clearly stretching way beyond the battlefield. Jay Gray, NBC News.
And here at home, there are families in Northeast Ohio on both sides of the conflict who have relatives in Israel as well as in Gaza. I spoke to the president of the board of the Jewish Federation of Cleveland, as well as the Cleveland chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations. Here are some of their reaction to the escalating war.
Just horrified at the whole situation. I don't ever recall an event like this where this large number of people have been taken and abused, and there's more that are being held hostage now. I'm really just horrified as I've seen the events unfold, and the political part of it will be addressed, and people can take whatever viewpoint they want. But right now we're just focused on what's happened and how we can best address the needs for people.
Of it, we all value human life on either side and all sides. But I would like to know if the question has ever been asked to people who support Israel. Do they condone the attacks that have been going on for decades? The imprisonment of children, the stripping of human rights. I would like to know if those questions have been asked to people who are Zionist supporters, Israeli supporters, if they ever condone the attacks on the Palestinians.
In response to the attack on Israel, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine declared today, as well as yesterday, days of prayer as Ohioans reflect on the conflict and hope for a peaceful resolution overseas. All flags at the U.S. Capitol tonight have been lowered to half-staff for the next 24 hours. The Capitol Police notified both the House and the Senate that all flags throughout the Capitol complex are to be lowered to stand in solidarity with Israel.